come and say hi. Say hi. Say hello, everybody. Welcome to Mommy's YouTube channel. Say hi. This is my jelly bean. Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaka Amano and I'm an etiquette and lifestyle educator. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and say Happy New Year's to you guys. I know I'm kind of late. But yeah, welcome to 2021. Cheers to a new year. I hope this year is good to us. I hope that this year we all achieve all our goals, our dreams, and I hope that you stay happy and sane this year. Cheers. Oh. We all know the drill of New Year and New Year resolutions, and some of us think that it's so cliche. But no matter how cliche you think it is, one thing for sure is certain. Every new year is a new opportunity for a new beginning. It's like a new clean slate that you have to improve and to start and to just do things over, right? Yes, we can't change the past, but we can work on the present in order to make a better future. Now, I know that you've probably listened to a million podcasts, read 1,000 articles, watched a billion videos talking about New Year's resolutions and how you can improve yourself, improve your work, improve, all that fancy stuff. So I'm not going to waste your time by talking about all those. I want to talk about things that people often forget to talk about and areas that we can improve on in our personal lives that are often neglected. I'm going to be speaking on 4 areas of our personal lives that we can actually work on, and for each area I'm going to give you 4 points of things that you can choose to work on if you want to. So the first one is our health. So this one isn't exactly neglected. I'm pretty sure you've heard it a million times as well. But because of the situation that we find ourselves in, which is the pandemic of the coronavirus, it is definitely not overflogged. Our health is important because if you actually are paying attention, you would find that people who are the most affected and ravished by this virus are people whose systems are already compromised in some way or the other. Some of them can help it because of age, but I feel like as long as there's life, there's hope. And there are a few things that we can do to improve our systems, which in turn would relatively shield us from this virus. The first point that I want to talk about is making healthier choices in terms of things that we consume. Now, I don't want to just say making healthier choices in terms of meals, because we consume a lot of things that are not food, so things like cigarettes, alcohol, even the air that we breathe. If you're in a polluted environment, you're messing your system up. So if there's a way you can help it by making sure that you stay away from pollutions, air pollutions especially, if you can cut down on cigarettes or quit it entirely, if you can be more temperate in your drinking, these things would help. We could try to consume more water, more vegetables, more fruits. Everybody's diet options would be different based off your personal preferences and personal needs. whatever it is that your preferences and personal needs are, I think that you can always find room for improving on your choices. The second point is to take your fitness seriously this year. Yes, going to the gym might not be an option right now, but there are other things that you can do. You can decide to work out at home using workout videos. You can decide to work out outdoors. That's safe because you can at least social distance outside. You can take jogs, runs. You can also just use the staircase in your house and just do, multiple rounds up and down the staircase. So whatever your choice is and whatever your options are, I'm pretty sure you can find ways to keep fit, because fitness is not just about looking good, it's also about being healthy on the inside and feeling good about yourself. The third point that I wanted to talk about is getting regular checkups. It has become even more necessary now than ever to get tested anytime that there's something that feels off about your body. But even aside that, it actually pays to get regular checkups now and then, even if nothing feels off. Just get routine checkups. That's why they're called routine checkups. You don't have to wait for things to go wrong to get it checked out. So get checkups so that you can stay ahead of your body and know when things are going off key, when things need to be maintained, and know when to start taking more precautions. The final point is getting health insurance. They say health is wealth, and I think that saying is very true in all ramifications, because it's not just about, being able to feel healthy, but I think that one of the true tests of how wealthy or not wealthy you are is being seriously ill. You would find that health is actually wealth, because medical bills are freaking expensive, right? So just to counter that and help balance out your finances a bit more, I think it's wise to get health insurance. The second area that I wanted to talk about is our femininity. Definitely, there is no way I'm going to skip this area because it's a huge part of what I do. So the first point on improving on our femininity is defining your style. Defining your style is not just about, filling your wardrobe with pink things or red things or whatever color that you feel is feminine. You actually are able to decide the things that you like and separate them from the things that you don't like. And of course, this is influenced by other factors like what works for you, what looks good on you, what is more functional for you. And all this just ties together and helps you project your personality better. Defining your style is a faster way of making first impressions, second impressions, and lasting impressions on people. Obviously, we're forever evolving, and our style, along with our person, is also forever evolving. So I don't think that what was your style in, say 2018 will be your style now. Personally, I think my style has actually even evolved between last year and this year, and the year just only started. But yeah, that's how quickly your style can evolve. But it's good to actually define it, at least, so you know the things that are working for you at the moment. One of the things that made my style evolve a bit more is the fact that I'm actually breastfeeding. So I have to go for things that are more breastfeeding friendly, right? So in the process of finding things that are more breastfeeding friendly, I found that I was tilting more towards a certain style. So yeah, that's a story for another day. At any point in time, it's good to at least stay on top of the evolution of your style and still tailor it to suit your personality and your needs and your reality. The second point is getting an effective and sustainable skincare routine. I know that there's this argument that people pose forward about how men don't need to have a skincare routine, how babies don't need to have a skincare routine, and their skin is always fresh and popping and flawless. It's So how come women need to have a skincare routine? Well, the truth is, as women, we have a lot of hormones that are playing and, just generally working on our systems. Some of them work for the good of one part of our system, but not for the good of another part of our system. So we need to generally just help our bodies balance things out a bit. And one of the ways that we help balance out the effects of these hormones on our skin is by using external products and consuming things that would also help our skin. This doesn't mean that you have to do the most. Like I said, it has to be effective and sustainable. If it's effective but not sustainable, then it's kind of redundant. So find something that works for you, both in terms of actually physically working for you and practicality. The third point is upgrading our makeup game. Now, I know that makeup is not for everyone. I also know that makeup is not something that is a copy and paste. I'm a firm believer that makeup is something that is tailored to each person's needs, their reality, their preferences, their choices, and their futures. Okay, so what works for me might not work for you, but I think that it's worth taking time to actually discover what works for you and what you like, because you might think that you like something on other people but not on yourself till you actually try it on yourself. It might sound vain to you, but I think it's important to, maybe when you have the time, take out 30 minutes of your time, sit in front of a mirror and just experiment, try different things and see what you like. Okay? When you find what you like, you can also upgrade that skill or upgrade that, application by watching other people do it. A great resource is YouTube. And if you guys want me to make a video of me putting on my makeup and how I do my makeup, I could do that for you as well. But I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other people who do the same thing, and you could just pick and choose what you like and include it into your makeup routine. Okay? Finally, and most importantly, I think that one of the ways we can improve on our femininity is by upgrading our feminine skills. So things like cooking, homemaking, hosting, etc. These things that just, bring out the nurturing side of us, you can always improve on them. Trust me, I know. I keep trying to find new things to do, and there's always new things to learn. You can never know it all. So yeah, just take time once in a while, maybe once every other week or once a month, to try something new, try a new recipe, try a new method of doing the same thing. And it's actually fun to do. So if it's your cup of tea, I think that it's worth trying. The third area that I wanted to talk about is our family and relationships. I think that this area of our lives is very, very, very underflogged. I think that people tend to not talk about it. But if the past year taught me anything, it is that there is nothing more important than family. For a lot of us, it took being locked down and being locked in with our family or friends for us to actually appreciate spending time with them, for us to actually get to know them on a personal level. Some of us didn't know the people that we lived with before the lockdowns happened. And for some of us who didn't get to see a lot of our family members, it took that whole period to realize that these people actually hold a very special place in our hearts. These people actually are very important to us. And for some of us, they are actually one of the most important things in our lives. More important than a lot of the other things that we allocate more time to. So how can we actually improve in our family life and relationships with our family? The first thing we can do is to be intentional about spending more time with our family and friends. Obviously, a lot of us can spend time physically with them, But that brings me to my second point, which is to be creative about how we spend time with them. Thanks to our new reality, a lot of things have to be virtual. So we can be more creative about spending virtual time with them. We can have virtual game nights, virtual dinners, virtual hangouts. There's a lot that we can do virtually, and a lot of us didn't know, myself inclusive, didn't know how creative we could be till the lockdowns happened, until we had to start social distancing. So yeah, think about more creative ways to spend time with family. Thanks to the pandemic as well, having lost a lot of people this past year, and even this year that just started, it's crazy. I think that it's worthwhile to try to mend broken relationships. It kind of seems like our generation is very pro cutting people off at the slightest inconvenience and blocking people and all whatnot. But there is nothing more painful than a lifetime of regrets and having to live with the regret of not mending a relationship while you had the time to. It's painful. It's really painful, and it's not something that I would wish on anyone. So if you can find it in yourself to mend some of these broken relationships, if this video speaks to you in that way, I think it is worth whatever cost you would have to pay to do so. So consider it, and even consider improving on frail relationships and try to find ways to be closer to people who you share family ties with. One of the ways to do that is the final point that I wanted to talk about, which is communicating more. I'm really terrible at keeping in touch. It's something I struggle with, but it's something we can struggle and work on together this year. We can try to call more, to chat more, and to just check up on people more this year. The final area that I wanted to talk about is the spiritual life. I'm a Christian, and my faith is one of the most fundamental things about me. I cannot separate my faith from my person or from my work, because I feel like my faith is the foundation on which every other aspect of my life is built on. So yeah, spiritual life. One of the ways that we can improve in our spiritual lives is making more time for God and making more time to pray. Before now, like a few months ago, I didn't realize how deliberate I had to be about it. But becoming a mom, a new mom, is something that has taught me that life can happen at you. Now I barely have time for myself. I barely have time to do anything. I'm just getting back to work, as some of you know, and I'm struggling to balance, my family life with my work life and with my spiritual life. And I find that I have less time to actually sit down and have the perfect time with God. But I realize that prayer is conversation. It's conversation with God. And just like the way that you would have conversations with other people that you love, you can also have conversations with God while doing other things that are not too tasking and not too distracting, right? So I could actually pray while I'm feeding my son. I can pray while I'm cooking for my family. I could pray when, I'm doing other things that are not taking up a lot of my mental strength. But aside these, I have come to cherish those moments where I actually find time at the end of every day to just sit and contemplate God, just listen and speak with Him. Which brings me to my second point, which is meditation. Meditation is simply contemplation. It's simply sitting and listening to God, speaking to Him, but also listening. A lot of the times we do vocal prayers, which is where we speak and barely listen. So during meditation, you actually listen. Meditation takes practice, so you have to dedicate time to practicing it, because the first few times that you do it, it will definitely not be perfect. But with time, you get better at it. So try to take out time at the end of every day to, or at the beginning of every day, to have intimate conversation with God. The third point that I wanted to talk about is virtues. So virtues is something that is not just for your spiritual life, it's also good for your personal life, your relationship with others. And I think it's worthwhile to try to imbibe virtues, both human virtues and supernatural virtues. So human virtues are virtues like punctuality, courtesy, and good manners, while supernatural virtues are virtues like patience, sincerity, sobriety, and the rest of them. So while you're actually imbibing these virtues, it's also important to struggle to let go of the vices. So we all have our different struggles. Definitely your struggles will not be my struggles, and my struggles will not be your struggles. But the truth is, we're all struggling, and it's something we should just work on every day of our lives. The final point on our spiritual lives is examination of conscience. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't know about, but there's a saying that goes, an unexamined life is not a life worth living. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure. But basically the point is, if we know how important it is to take stock in our businesses, if we know how important it is to keep a close check on our finances, then how do we not spend time at the end of every day to do that bookkeeping for ourselves? You know, just think about the things that you did that day with regards to things that you're struggling with. Now, I don't mean this as a way to beat yourself up, you know, and say, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm still struggling with this. We're all going to be struggling for the rest of our lives. It's more about realizing, okay, yes, I may not have won today in that sense of the word, but I'll keep trying, and tomorrow is a new day to begin again. So at the end of every day, when you examine yourself and examine the events of that day, you know, with regards to your work, how well did you do your work? Did you pay attention to details? Did you waste time? Did you cause other people to waste their time? With regards to your family life, you know, were you extra snappy at your siblings or spouse? Were you irritable? You know, these things. At the end of every day, when you sit down and think about it, you make resolutions, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to work on this. I'm going to make sure I don't do this. I'm going to apologize for doing this. I'm going to try to do this project better, to allocate more time to it. That's the way it works. So it's not just about, oh my God, I cannot get anything right? It's about, okay, yeah, I may have not gotten this right, but I did get this right, so I'm going to work on this tomorrow. That's the attitude you should have while you examine your conscience. And of course, you have to ask for God's grace to keep those resolutions, to keep struggling with those vices and struggling to imbibe those virtues, because no matter how much work we do by ourselves, it is a million times easier with God's grace. So who would choose the hard way? I don't know. And that's all the points that I wanted to talk about. I'd like to point out that nothing that I talked about is new or rocket science. Obviously, a lot of you probably are doing many of these things, but some of us just need reminders and need to, you know, be more intentional with them. I also wanted to say that I know that the past year was really rough, and a lot of us don't even see the need in trying this year, but I'm just here to encourage us. I'm encouraging myself as well. We never know when, you know, things would change, and there's no point just sitting and crying over spilled milk, or sitting and wishing things would get back to normal. While we're sitting and waiting, we can, you know, just stay hopeful stay happy, stay sane, and just keep improving on ourselves. I know it's not easy, but let's just do the best that we can, okay? On that note, I would like to say stay safe, take all precautions necessary, take care of yourself, your mental health, and take care of the people that are around you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!